London and Hull are about to prove it. A vital game for the Broncos this, and for Hull, the chance to go fourth in the table. That scenario comes about as a result of the matches played on Friday. The Bulls marching on, 36-18 winners over bottom of the table Wakefield. But Leeds, they lost 32-24 without their British contingent against Castleford. Highlights from Bradford and Leeds at half-time here. So the Bulls are now 2 points clear of the Saints this weekend. Wigan were due to play the Saints. That game is off. Leeds, well, they hang on in fourth, but they will drop to fifth if Hull win here. It's Widnes Warrington Sunday and Halifax Salford, all to play for between now and the end of the season. And fourth place beckons for the men from the Boulevard. They beat London 24-20 at the Valley a year ago. This is their team tonight. Prescott, Rayner, Mackay. Coe Love returns after missing last week injured. Crowther, Horn and Jason Smith, their captain, and Lynchpin at scrum half. Then the forwards, Greenhill, Jackson and Carvel. Marr, Ryan and Chester. Only Paul King missing from this lineup. He's on the plane back home from Australia now. Logan, Cook, Parker and Glenn Donkin comes into the 17-man squad. Young Kirk Yeeman travelled down as 18th man. Well, London, they're fighting for their playoff lives after last week's defeat here against Castleford. And they have Sykes at full-back. Dom Peters comes back on the wing. Martin, Roy and Hall. Gillette takes over from the injured Jim Dimmock. And it's Dennis Moran at scrum half. The forwards, Bowden, Budworth, Shaw, Price, Retchless and Toshak, captain of the Broncos for the first time. And on the bench, it's Frenchman Hules, Stevenson, Marshall and Gareth Dean, who only arrived in the capital on Wednesday. The coach is Tony Ray. So London Broncos against Hull. No Richie Barnett, Jason Hetherington or Jim Dimmock. They're doing it tough because of injury. Again this year, the London Broncos. Steve-O, it's a glorious day and a glorious opportunity for Hull to try and claim fourth place in the table under the watchful eye of Carl Kirkpatrick, our referee.
Yes, Sean McRae will be quite happy with the fact that Leeds are just falling in a hole and they could be sending them way down the table. There he is taking his place up in the stand. But he knows it won't be easy down here at London. It never is. It's a very compact ground, of course. It does play into the style of the London Open and real strength in the forwards. But Hull, you've got to say, would have to start favourites.
The kickoff is over the top of Carvel and Prescott, and that would be a goal line dropout from underneath the posts for Hull. That bounced wickedly from the kickoff.
Well, you'd have to say that that was a planned move. They really did belt that from the halfway line.
Paul Sykes kicking off. His fourth start at fullback. Steve Prescott, the opposite number for Hull. So it's London in possession with Russell Bowden, and a big hit put on him by Gareth Carvel. He plays the ball to Budworth. They come this way to Darren Shaw. Different prop forward combination this week for London. And here now is Toshak. That's a good tackle by Greenhill.
Biggest problem for the Broncos tonight, of course, you mentioned the two props, Borden and Shaw, usually second rowers, so they really have got the weight of Hull against them.
Very important tackle there from Jason Smith. This now is Gillette. He finds Bowden. Bowden onto Toshak, and Toshak feeds the ball out wide, and Gareth Price is in. What a start for London. Gareth Price, the Welsh international, off the bench last week. That was his home debut. And Gareth Price has come up with a wonderful start for Tony Ray, the London Broncos coach.
Quality play by the Broncos. It all came about, of course, from Hull not being able to handle the kickoff. They had to drop out from underneath the sticks, and that was superb play by the skipper, Matt Toshak. They had the numbers out wide. Hull, they've been caught napping in these early minutes. That was a huge gap there. Cheston and Mackay let the big fella through, created by Matt Toshak, and this is where it all came from. A wicked bounce, they can only get fingertips to it, good position, Moran fed the skipper, and Mr. Price has made Hull pay just that.
And Tony Martin has added the extras. 24 years of age now, Tony Martin, after his birthday on Wednesday of this week. And Gareth Price, formerly with Lee earlier this year, he began his career at St Helens. 11 appearances under Ellery Hanley for Saints in 1999. Well, what a start for London. What a glorious start for a team that hasn't won a home game since the 46-18 defeat of Halifax on the 21st of April.
Long time between drinks, but they have played quite a few more games than the rest away from home so that they could get the pitch sorted out here. But I spoke to Tony Ray a couple of days ago, and he said they were really training out of their skins, and they were confident.
Yes, they're missing all those big guns, Barnett, Hetherington, Dimmock, one or two others as well. But they're the three main men for London. But this is a glorious start for them. 3 minutes gone in this match. And Hull, well, they've hardly touched the football. They've only kicked it twice, and they've fumbled it once. It's all London at the start. Toshak driving the ball in.
Well, mentally, the Hull side really have got to dig deep.
This is Gillette. Borden gets the pass away. Gareth Carvel all over the top of Paul Sykes then. This is the last tackle, and the midfield bomb goes up, but Gillette has kicked that almost behind him, and he's knocked the ball forward as well, just to add insult to injury. Prescott picks it up, and now Hull will have first use of the football for them. Here's Graham Mackay, joint top scorer in the Super League this year. Graham Mackay, 15 tries.
Good work though by the winger Steve Hall and Tony Martin. Big fella couldn't get up ahead of steam. And I must say, this Broncos defence, they're getting out of the blocks very quickly. They're closing this Hull side down very quickly and making them play one man out.
Drive forward there by Greenhill for Hull. Dummy half is Lee Jackson. Here's the main man for them, Jason Smith. Just couldn't get the pass away. But Hull threatening here, midway inside the London half of the field. Jackson from dummy half, good ball to Chester. Chester gets it away to Mackay. Mackay will come back this way, flicks it then inside to Jason Smith once again. And this now is Richard Horne, and it's on the last tackle.
Surely they'll go for the high one. London are facing the sun.
Kick was touched in flight. Nigel Roy collects it, and he also collects a tackle almost from Dom Peters as well. It's very warm here in the stands. I'm sure it's warm in the sunshine. The pitch looks very, very solid indeed. Let's get conditions on the touchline from Chris Warren.
You talk about the conditions, Eddie. This sun is blinding, and it is very, very hot down here at pitch side. I can also tell you that during the week, the pitch has been mown. It's much shorter, it's a lot faster, and as we know, London Broncos, they do like running on top of the ground in racing parlance, so it should suit them. And as Steve-O said, don't be surprised if Hull do utilise that bomb early on.
The kick over the top from Moran, not the best. It went straight down the throat of Steve Prescott. They're playing in a little mini heat wave then here tonight, and that is great to see. It's about time summer arrived. How long it will stay, we'll wait and see. But remember, a couple of weeks ago, as Hull get the penalty, a couple of weeks ago, London were playing in 100-degree heat in the south of France against Warrington. They're used to it.
Well, they certainly will be, especially the fact that, well, both sides got plenty of Australians, so they'll welcome it. Bit of a problem there for Steel Retchless. But to get off to that flying start, it's always good for you psychologically. And they have a tendency, all teams that travel down to the capital city, they're a little bit slow to get their legs.
This is Chester. A darting run through the legs of Prescott at the dummy half. And he ran straight into a little bit of heavy traffic in the shape of Darren Shaw, back for a second spell at London Broncos, of course. He now is Carvel, taking his chance because Paul King is on that plane home from Australia.
Now then, what will Jason Smith do? He's taking the first receiver, as he does so often.
The pass was short to Mackay, and Mackay was watched by two. Chester's the dummy half. There's Jason Smith, attacking the line, flicking the pass. Good defence from London. Important tackle from Bowden. This is Smith. Horn with a kick through. And Dom Peters did well.
Neat little stab. And Peters had to be alert. It come well away from the whitewash. That's the reason why they put the kick in there. But Peters, good punch away under pressure.
He's missed the last 5 as Dominic Peters. A try against Hull in April, though, his only try of the year. And Paul Sykes with the goal line dropout.
Not surprisingly, they're taking their time as well.
A ball, there it is, a high bounce again, and Crowther has to reach up for it. Good chase, though, from the dropout by London. The chase led by the captain for the day, Toshack. Huge blow this week that Jim Dimmock was ruled out of this match.
Yeah, it's like the saying that his opposite, Jason Smith, got plenty of...
Great try! Greenhill! He's got support on his inside. It was flicked forward. Jackson to Horn. Wide it goes again. And they get so close to the line.
What a tackle from Michael Gillette, it had to be.
Great hands, though.
Wonderful.
Rayner. Great hands out wide from Hull. And Rayner with the try. And I think the last pass came from Toa Koilov. Gareth Rayner, 9th try of the season. Try in each of his last 3 now. And the Hull travelling contingent, which is vocal and numerous, delighted with that.
Well, it was a beautiful break. Got them into the position. Absolutely superb. But the hands there, the big fella brought forward, got it away, and it was superb. Carville started it. Then we had the break back on the inside. It hit a London player. That's the reason why Carl Kirkpatrick said, play on. Jackson did exactly that. They got it close to him, Gillette tackled, but you can see they had the numbers out wide. Superb offload. That is world class. Toa Koilov, look at that. Peters just too late.
So Hull respond with the Gareth Rayner try, but it was converted really, or rather it was put on a plate for him by a wonderful pass from Toa Koilov. And now Matt Crowther has the opportunity to add the conversion. He kicked the 200th goal of his career against St Helens last Friday. 5 from 5 then. This one just goes in front of the posts. It's London 6, Hull 4 here at sun-drenched Griffin Park.
Well, they were caught out there. Real big problems. There you can see there's the winger, Dominic Peters. And look how quickly he tries to get back. But they're always going to have the overlap out wide. That was quick thinking. But look at this. Peters had to go for Koilov. Oh, great try there.
Now have Hull learned the lesson of that kick-off? They have. In fact, it wasn't quite such a deep kick-off from Paul Sykes this time. Graham Mackay takes tackle, first set of this 6. Well, Shaw and Bowden certainly putting themselves about early on here. And so is this fellow.
Well, it's been solid defence apart from just 2 missed tackles in the Broncos ranks. And it was a great offload there by Gareth Carville that set it all moving.
Lee Jackson, the dummy half. Jason Smith fires the pass out. Good ball. They have men on the overlap here. And that's a lovely pass to Mackay. Mackay has got Jason Smith. Mackay backing himself with the power. And in the end, hauled to ground. But it's with Chester. Now it's with Jason Smith. Back on the inside to Steve Prescott. Hull trying to use the angles. Chester again fires the pass to Carville. And Carville attacking that line. Still going. Flicks the pass away. And Adam Marr is in. Adam Marr, the referee gives the try. Adam Marr with the second Hull try in quick succession. And the Barmy Army is smiling now. Got a scare early when London hit the front, but now Hull have taken advantage. 2 tries in 3 minutes. Rayner with the first and Adam Marr with the second.
All came about by the break from Mackay. Superb stuff on the big... Came on the burst there. They got to him in the end, but again, the brought forward Gareth Carville. Watch the skill from the big fella. Smith brings it back on the inside. The fullback, Prescott, they're so confused in the defence, but you've got to get this man down. It's only a short pass, but it is worth its weight in gold. 4 points of gold. Good work from Marr. Well, I were praising the Broncos in regard to their defensive qualities, but they've just dropped off remarkably. But good offloading, let's take nothing away. And again, the big prop forward. You've got to square him down. Gillett really should have smothered him. No doubt about the grounding. No doubts in the mind of Carl Kirkpatrick. Hull take the lead.
Great strength on show from Adam Maher. Now Crowther with his second conversion attempt in quick succession. That one finds the mark. And from 6-0 down after just a minute, Hull now are 10-6 ahead.
Took them a while to settle down, the men from the Boulevard, but I must say, some classic offloading in the last 5 or 6 minutes. Super stuff.
Adam Maher, he started the last 6 in the second row and played for Rochdale in the First Division in 1998, Gateshead in 99, then Hull the last 2 years. And the deep kick-off, Graham Mackay again to run this ball back, kicking off in similar territory every time they have the opportunity, London.
It's obviously a plan, Eddie. That's the third time that they've put it onto the ground pretty hard, and that is being brought about. Chris Warren mentioned on the sidelines that it's like a billiard table at the moment. It really has been shown very, very close to the ground.
Horn, that's a good ball out wide to Coe Love, and here is Gareth Rayner. Rayner backing himself down the line, but a very good covering tackle back. He gets away from the grounded Nigel Roy, plays the ball quickly. Horn to Jason Smith. Jason Smith taking them on now, and Hall down by 2. Darren Shaw was one, and Matt Toshak was the other.
Starting to mesmerise him is the captain, Jason Smith.
A dab to in goal, and that's a knock on. It's going to be play on, and Maher with his second try. Adam Maher with try number 2. Paul Sykes couldn't take it in. Knocked on, and Hull dropped on it gleefully in the shape of Maher. Well, what a transformation in the past 6 minutes. From 6-0 down, Hull have suddenly struck gold in the capital.
They've paid the price again. It was a neat kick through. Fullback Paul Sykes made a real meal of it. They took the option on the blind side, and that is an awful mistake. It was Chester that created it. Put the pressure on the fullback Paul Sykes. Good call on the blind side. It was well weighted, and you could see it just took an horrific just turn to the right at the very last moment. Nothing that Sykes could do about it. Committed himself early, and once Chester got foot to the ball, Maher. Long time since he scored 2 tries, I'm sure, especially in the space of 64 seconds.
Well, in that 64 seconds, if 64 seconds it be, Adam Maher has just doubled his tally for the season. And Tony Ray, with his side shorn of so many stars, having got off to a wonderful start, they suddenly find themselves in serious trouble. And Crowther adds the extras. It's 16-6 at Griffin Park.
A bit of deja vu, Eddie, with the fact that we saw yesterday the GB boys got off to a pretty good start.
Was there a test match yesterday?
Yes, there was. Well, at least we won the toss.
Yes, I think Lee Setsunas mended, old boy.
Too true.
It was a huge disappointment for us all. But I maintain that the Super League is competitive, is entertaining, and is a wonderful domestic competition. 16 minutes of this match gone. All suffering from the disappointment of yesterday, but play like Hull have produced here in London early, it's lifted everybody's spirits, I'm sure. And also the 2 results last night. Highlights, don't forget, at half-time from the games at Bradford and Leeds, although Leeds supporters might not want to see too much of that. Let's hear from Paul Cullen on the sideline. Paul, I know you as disappointed as anyone as we made our way down here today, but this is lifting us.
Well, Eddie, the Broncos look like a team to me that's short on self-belief and thus confidence. They have a mountain to climb. It's a big ask for Tony Ray to match up against a Hull side that looks superior on paper in every department. One thing they have to really work on is the kick game. Great start from the Broncos, good kick-off, compounded that pressure with a great score. Then they got the next set, went to the bomb. It was a shocker from Michael Gillett Hull picked up the ball on the halfway and they haven't looked back since. You know, guys are going to get tired very, very quickly if you're going to defend for most of this game. That's what the Broncos have done so far. They have to produce a quality kick.
Oh, they don't produce anything quality. Gillett drops the ball under no real pressure. Gillett filling in today for the injured Jimmy Dimmock, and he was injured last week in the game against Castleford. Thought he was going to play, Steve-O, until yesterday, and then the knee apparently blew up in training again. And so Tony Ray, he's got Richie Barnett alongside him. He's got Jason Hetherington out to the side, Jim Dimmock as well. Doesn't get easy.
No, it's tough for them, and they're not the only club that's going through the horrors as well. Long-term injury as well to Barnett. Seems it'll be another 4 weeks at least before he comes back there. Maybe Hetherington could be another 3 weeks also. So it's important that they lift their spirits and really fight their way back into it, but it's not going to be easy. I mentioned the fact that they were very solid in defence, they were eager, they were very, very quick indeed, but now they're just standing off a little bit.
This is Prescott. Ball drops and they want 6 to go. Hull, the referee keeps the tackle count going though. The ball was dropped. Jackson, Greenhill. And Greenhill is picked up and dumped. That's the 4th tackle then. The tackle count does continue. Jackson at dummy half, off the ground to Jason Smith. Here is Richard Horne. Richard Horne a drop of the shoulder. He scored now. Richard Horne for Hull. Oh, and it's getting decidedly awkward for Tony Ray to watch this. His team are being sliced to ribbons. Richard Horne with the try. 20 on Tuesday of next week. An early birthday present.
Well, talking of presents, this is where it came from. You can see that Gillett took his eyes off the football. He was looking at people coming towards him. He can't afford to do that. Neat dummy, and Horne, it should have been stopped. Had the chance. Quick getaway from the dummy half position from Jackson. But they really should have had him. He's not the biggest player on the park, this fella Richard Horne, but he certainly showed some remarkable upper strength, and that was sufficient.
Richard Horne then, terrific record with try scoring for Hull, and in 10 minutes the men from the Boulevard have run in 4 tries. Crowther then, 2 from 3. Chance to convert again from the other side of the field. He missed from the touchline earlier. Misses with that one as well. 20 points to 6.
Could be a costly error as well. They know that this London side will not just throw in the towel. Sean McRae will be quite happy with the way that they've responded from conceding that first try. But yet again, Eddie, the Broncos, their biggest problem is coming up with those basic errors when they're not under pressure. It's just schoolboy stuff.
Prescott then, Hull with the sniff of going 4th in the table. And they might have expected to, well, certainly have a good go against London today, because if they do happen to win here, and with making 14 missed tackles after only 20 minutes of the match, London are very much on the back foot. If they do happen to win here, it will be their 7th consecutive victory over the London Broncos in League and Cup. Although they had to get out of jail earlier in the season against London up at the Boulevard, Gareth Carvell on that occasion coming up with his first ever hat-trick.
Well, a change in the defensive pattern from the Broncos, in as much they've gone to a man-on-man marking. Oh,
another mistake.
Another huge mistake.
And what's more, it's with Toa Coelho. Toa Coelho grounded, and desperate defence from Peters. Quick play the ball, and that's surely a penalty. He's offside.
It could very well be in the sin bin as well.
Darren Shaw just jogging back. They're going to go for 2 more points.
And why not? Hot conditions. Give his side plenty of time to regroup. There's the culprit, Darren Shaw. And this is the big error. Oh, really bad one too. You can't afford to do that, I'm afraid. And Paul Sykes going through the horrors somewhat. That was a mistake from the fullback yet again. And then when Shaw had the ball plonked on his chest, the official had no other choice than to give Hull the chance of an extra 2 points. And this guy's in pretty good form.
Yes, he is. He's missed with a couple, though. This, though, should be meat and drink to him. He's just off centre, as you can see. And the Hull supporters, they have come here in numbers, I must say. Obviously having a big weekend away in the capital. There's one or two natty outfits. I've noticed Ali G is there. Popeye is in there somewhere as well. And
I think there's an emu, isn't there? Or
there's an emu or something there.
Or an ostrich. I better keep well away from that.
Yes. Having a time of their lives, anyway.
And why not, with the scoreline as it stands?
Oh, but that kick-off again wends its way over the dead ball line. That was very lackadaisical from Graham Mackay and company.
It's not as though they're facing into the sun. And that's the fourth occasion that London have utilised that fast kick. They kick it on top of the ball, so it rolls very, very quickly and then obviously bounces up at the last moment.
So there's some heavyweight reinforcements come on for the Broncos. That's Francis Stevenson driving it up first tackle from the dropout, and there is Richard Marshall, number 14, he's on as well. This is Toshak. Toshak then gets the ball in field to the early try scorer, Gareth Price. They've hardly had the football since the opening minute. Now then they have with Moran. Here is Gillette. Back it goes again. Good hand, Sykes.
Well, at least they're running the angles now. Full-back coming in.
Moran. Stevenson. Stevenson trying to plumb them on. He's got it, has he? The ball came free. Is it over the line? Was it grounded properly?
Well,
first decision for tonight's video referee, David Campbell.
Great run there by the big fella. And yeah, that's a try time. That's great.
Or is it short?
No, he's got it over on the whitewash. Don't think there's any problems with this. On the whitewash. You're not going to go off your trolley today, are you?
No.
So we can go for TRY without you looking at me, your eyebrows raising, your hair all over the place, and poking me in the face with your nose.
It's 100% certain try, and that's why David Campbell has given it. And rightly so.
Well, what a great move by Tony Ray. He needed something out there, and this big fella produced it.
He got a couple of tries, if you remember, against Widnes when we were here.
Sure did, and celebrated big time. And it was a neat little inside pass from Moran that allowed him. And they caught this Hull defence pretty short. But that's how the prop forwards should run. Plenty of vim and vigour.
Indeed.
They're back in it.
They are 22-12. Stevenson collected the kick-off, had the first drive in, and was the man on the end of this pass.
Threw a neat dummy
drove
as
it
well.
straight in. Look at that. Great stuff.
But the inside pass, that was great. Not many prop forwards throw the odd dummy. And Francis Stevenson has given the Broncos a little bit of hope when it looked as though they were in for a real shellacking.
He wants to get on with it quickly. Again, does Francis Stevenson, asking the referee for the penalty. None forthcoming. Budworth is grounded. And Moran off the outside of the boot. He's gone for a 40-20, and Matt Crowther knows that. That's why he's shuttled back. Hall and Martin are after him, and they get him too with the tackle. Play the ball to Mackay. Mackay then to Ma. Infield it goes to Prescott. And Prescott makes a break up the middle. And he's got three men on this side. The ball goes to ground, though. Play on, says referee Carl Kirkpatrick.
Good work by Dennis Moran there. He got himself in between the man and made the break, which was the fullback Steve Prescott. That was shoddy tackling by the Broncos. There you see Moran got to it. It was play on, it was back to six. Good refereeing by Kirkpatrick.
On the halfway line, London in possession with Steele Rexless, who played the ball to Budworth. Here now is Marshall. Oh, great tackle. Terrific tackle from Jason Smith. Here is Moran. Moran attacking the line, finds Toshak, and Chester and Marr combine to bring the London skipper down. Moran waits at dummy half. Back it comes here now to Gillette. Better kick wanted this time, and it is better. It's hanging, Rayner's after it. It's caught brilliantly, it's with Retzlaff, and Retzlaff is surrounded by blue jerseys, and it's the turnover. Hull survive.
Well, again, they went to sleep with this Hull defence. He nearly got over there, Steele Retzlaff. Good offload by Nigel Roy. And that is good scrambling stuff. The winger Gareth Rayner came to the assistance as well of the fullback Prescott. But as so often happens when you race away, score three quick tries, looks as though the game's in your pocket, you just let yourself go to sleep. And London nearly got back into this match big time.
I think there have been two very important changes by Tony Ray, bringing on Richard Marshall and Francis Stevenson. They have steadied a ship that was sinking rapidly.
Well, I knew they had to get a bit of a roll on, had to get over the advantage line. They've certainly done that at the two big fellas. That's a neat kick.
Great kick from Jason Smith, that. Rayner was after it as well.
Wonderful.
New 2-year deal in the bank. Jason Smith, a terrific boost to Super League to see Australians of that quality playing in our competition. And I think that a lot of people will look at what happened yesterday and say maybe the quota system is too high just now, but with quality like that in, you can't really argue with, say, 3 a club, Steve-O?
Yeah, no more, that is for sure, but that's okay, providing we are getting the quality like you're talking about this guy.
Absolutely.
Far too often, for many, many years, we've had substandard Australians have come over and just pinched them on it. London
With Budworth and Hall. Back to Budworth. Jackson's after him. That's great. Snaffling there by Lee Jackson. Moran. Here's Marshall again. Big hit by Adam Marr.
You mentioned Tony Ray. Good move to bring on the two big fellas, but Dennis Moran is controlling things a lot better now. They're going on the angle, bringing it back on the inside. It's creating a few problems with Hull in that first and second marker position.
Well, the forwards are setting a bit of a platform, aren't they? The dab through is collected by Gareth Rayner. Moran missed the tackle, and that's a neat little run from Gareth Rayner. Well, let's go down to Paul Cullen. We are a little bit concerned, Paul, about the state of the international game. 3 Australians and no more, would you say?
Seems to be fair numbers to me, Eddie. We have to be very careful, though, that the structure enables that they have to be top quality. You have to qualify now to apply for that. It isn't far off the mark at the moment. To bring it down to 3 would benefit the English game in the long term, but we can't cut it short for this season or next.
Well, Paul Cullen knows all about quality. He operated in a Warrington side with the likes of Les Boyd, Davidson, Phil Blake. That's quality, and it's that sort of quality that we must attract to the Super League from the Southern Hemisphere, and to allow the British talent that is there, Steve-O, to blossom a bit.
Yeah, I think we've got to take a good, long, hard look at the structure right the way through to the schools. I've often said it that we don't appear to do enough for schools and the amateur game.
Well, I'm sure we'll develop this in Rugby League World on Wednesday evening. Meanwhile, we have a terrific game of Rugby League on our hands here from the Tetley Super League. Rugby League World is at 9:30 Wednesday on Sky Sports 1 this week. And the inquest will be continued, I'm sure, by Chris Warren, Steve-O, and a special studio guest.
Certainly will.
Moran with a big, deep kick over the top. A good kick too, but on this solid surface, that will run dead.
He's a key figure, of course, for this London side. He didn't look fully fit last week. I just got the feeling that he took the gamble, played against Castleford with an injury. In fact, I'm positive about it because he finished the game out on the left wing the last 10 minutes of the game against the Tigers, but he looks to be pretty much improved here today.
This is Chris Chester. And the tackle was by Gareth Price and also Richard Marshall. This is Jason Smith. Gives it to Graham Mackay. He flicks it away to Matt Crowther.
A little bit sloppy there. Mackay took that ball standing still. You mentioned the fact it's pretty warm out there. This should take a big kick to the right, and it does.
Great kick.
That was no fluke. He knew exactly what it was doing.
He was way over the 40-metre line.
Oh, it wasn't a 40-20, but he knows that they've got to get into a good position. London have been making plenty of errors, no doubt about it. About 3 metres the wrong side of it. But he knew that with the spin, it was going to go to the right. And as I mentioned, the fact that the Broncos have been coming up with so many errors, they'll just try to force another one.
But they've really done well to lift themselves after that devastating spell by Hull. And I was going to say they're in possession again. They were with Roy. He lost the ball in the tackle. This is a glorious opportunity for Hull with Prescott. Prescott is clawed down 10 metres away from the Broncos line. Jackson will go right and find Smith, who goes further right to Richard Horne. And then to Coelho. Good tackling though. Oh, Coelho swings a very loose pass out, and Gareth Rayner did well.
Didn't like the fact that Retchless went in a little bit later. Oh, that's a mistake.
Well, Scott Logan with the pass off the deck. Well, Toa Coelho just couldn't take it in.
They didn't really need that. I mentioned the fact that the good kicking skills of Jason Smith got them into that scrum. They forced the error straight away. And when you're in a commanding lead, 22-12, you really don't have to offload in heavy traffic.
So they are back in possession with Nigel Roy, who coughed it up on the first tackle a moment ago. Doesn't do so this time. That's Gillette. Wide it goes to Tony Martin. Mackay gets to him. He pirouettes, does Martin, before he plays it to Hall. This is Stevenson to drive it in again. Stevenson and Marshall, let's repeat, have breathed life into this London challenge. Budworth off the deck to Price. Ball went backwards, Moran to Retchless. With the touch forward to Nigel Roy. Roy dumps the ball on the deck, and here's Dom Peters.
Looking to get away with that one. He was in a good position, Kirkpatrick, the official.
Dennis Moran flings it wide to Gillette again. Miss out Toshak on the bounce to Martin. Chester got to him. Ball is flicked again. And he's back again.
He'll take the first knock on. He's just got to decide now which one it was.
It's London's head and feed.
Telling that Ryan got a fingertip to it early in the piece, trying to get a load in here. I think that's maybe he's deemed that Greenhill got a fingertip to it, but let's go. Logan, that's a forward pass there from Retchless. You could see that Nigel Roy really had to lean forward for that one.
Well, they haven't thrown the towel in London, that's for sure. Only 10 points adrift. Coming up to 5 minutes before half-time. Retchless driving in again. And it's now Hull's turn to defend. And they have to scramble here because Gillette has found Moran. Moran taking them on himself. That's a good tackle. Could have been a little bit painful for Moran as well. It was the tackle of Marr. Here's Stevenson. Good ball to Toshak. He loses possession.
Oh, it was anybody's there, and it went backwards. But the London player maybe could have been offside in the first half. Was 14 in front. Well, it went all over the place there. The pinball wizard. Well, it certainly came off Jackson, and he was in front there. Was
well, the first offence was
Sean
knocked on
Ryan.
by London anyway, wasn't it?
I think he just allowed play on there in the end.
Jackson off the deck.
But it's amazing, isn't it? It looked for all the world that London were down and out, that Hull were taking control, of which they were. They were going through this defence with ease, and they just went to sleep, and they've allowed the Broncos back in this game.
Yes, London have the sniff of something. It's back here with Prescott, who hits it downfield, and Peters in the sunshine over there did well to deal with that. Drives it back, and Horne gets to him.
It's been a good feature of this whole side tonight, the way that they've utilised the kicking game, and why not when you've got the likes of Jason Smith, Chris Chester.
Steve Hall for the Broncos. Waiting at dummy half is Budworth. Here is Richard Marshall. Marr gets to him. Quick play the ball again. Now Francis Stevenson to drive it in over halfway.
Again,
Lots of enthusiasm from Stevenson.
Yeah, but great meters gained forward, and that's what they needed.
Moran, Gillette back on the inside to Sykes. Flick pass, they got away with it again. Moran tidies up the pieces, finds Stevenson once more. Here is Toshak. Toshak gets it away. Here is Gareth Price. It's opened up for Price. Scragged to the ground. And boy, isn't Adam Maher having a big influence on this match. And now he has conceded a penalty.
Well, it was a good tackle by Scott Logan in the first instant. And rightly so, Kirkpatrick wants to have a little bit of a word.
On the last tackle. Now, come on. You know better than that.
Just calming Mr. Logan down.
They're going to go for 2 points, London. And why wouldn't they?
Well, they know it's an uphill battle in situation, but this fella here, he really is running riot now, Price. And he got that, put that down to the way that Francis Stevenson is leading the way. He's getting over the advantage line. Just shows you the importance of being a good coach these days. Don't panic, don't just throw the towel in. And the one thing you can say about the Broncos, it's very rare you see them when their heads go down.
Scott Logan, who was judged by the referee to be all over the top of the grounded player, as Tony Ray just takes a look at the sheets and stats, ready for his half-time discussion. Scott Logan will stay with Hull till the end of 2005. This is Tony Martin for London. He's missed it. Oh, that's a dreadful miss. It could be so costly.
And he knows it too. That really could have been the fillip that they needed just to go into the half-time break. Well, they're certainly not down and out. It appeared that way. And Tony Ray will be buoyed that they will have possession.
Yes, they will. They'll get the ball back from this 20-metre dropout that Graham Mackay will perform. Good length on it too. Gillette did well. Stevenson, they're looking for him all the time, and that's why. High challenged.
Well, a stupid penalty to give away. Going high by Horn.
I don't think London have found touch. They haven't.
There'll be a dropout anyway. Well, that's an awful error, but they've got away with it. They will have possession and have at least one more set of 6 to perhaps add to their 12 points.
Dennis Moran going for a lot of length on that.
No excuse, Eddie. Going up with things like that.
No penalties now.
Well, he gets a chance to redeem himself, and yet again it's Stevenson. And as he gets the ball, the London crowd lift, because they know he has given this London side a real lift. Marshall. Half a minute remaining, so we're probably watching the last set of 6 here. Gillette. Price. Stopped by Mackay. A flick pass. Oh, and Maher will collect. Now can Hull turn the screw?
Now, why on earth did he want to do that? He really should have just kept possession, got into the sheds.
Ryan hits the deck.
Not half. He's out. That was one big smasheroo.
Gingerly and groggily gets to his feet. Back it goes to Mackay with a drop goal attempt from Graham Mackay.
Wide.
Just wide. That's why he noticed on the big screen that the clock was ticking down. Well, Tony Ray, it was a shambles to begin with. Sean McRae, they ran in 5 tries from the 8th to the 22nd minute, did Hull. They had the match in their pocket. Then, emerging from the bench, Stevenson and Richard Marshall for London. Stevenson's try, goaled by Martin, giving London hope for the second half. They still trail at the break. It's London 12, Hull 22. London, who've beaten the Bulls and St Helens here, but have recorded 4 defeats as well, and they have a big job to do in the second half.
Get a Formula One